Okay, I have a new toy. I have a gimbal with some face tracking capability. And I thought I'd do my very first video with this. We're gonna call it Why You Do a Water Change. Fish Doo-Doo 101. Here we go. So I have drawn a picture up here. I had letters up here, but I found out everything's backwards when I looked at the camera. So I just erased all the letters. But I'm gonna make it real simple. This is layman's term for regular people. Every day, you are putting fish food into your aquarium. Every day, 2-3 times a day, you're putting organic material to feed your fish, your invertebrates, your favorite crab, whatever it is. Every day, all your life forms are going doo-doo in the aquarium. This is all inside of a box that we call a fish tank. It's not going anywhere. Yes, you have a filter hanging on the outside. Let's just demonstrate that real quick. So you have your high dollar canister filter that you're so proud of. I probably should have tried to write that backwards. And you got your tubes going into that thing. One's pulling water out, one's pushing water in, and you're thinking, I've got a filter. So a little bit of your doo-doo is going into that filter, and then the water comes right back out. Really, it's just trapping the doo-doo. Water from your tank is still going through it. It's still your tank water going through this mess. Okay? And a lot of it never makes it to the filter. It just settles on the bottom. This is why I'm an advocate, as anybody I think with a little reasonable brain, a little common sense, understands that we need to remove some of that old water on a regular basis and give new life-giving H2O in return, whether that's a marine tank or a freshwater tank. Life-giving fresh water being brought in, exhausted, spent, nutrient-rich, trace element poor water leaving. I know some people say that, well, I can add all these things to replace those trace elements and minerals. And yes, you can. I guess you can. But still, at the end of the day, that water has had life forms living in it. I just don't feel like you could put some calcium in there, give me a little potassium in there. And I'm real comfortable with drinking that water for my nutrients, knowing that these fish have lived in it. I feel a lot better about drinking that water if I have to, if this tank has been getting water changes on a regular basis. This is why we do regular water changes. How much you say, that's really going to depend on you. What's the bio load? How much do you feed? How big is that aquarium, right? What other processes do you have in place that might be helping you assimilate some of that organic matter? I would say the old trusted and tried 20-25% every 4 weeks is a good starting point. Your water changes are going to vary due to those other parameters I mentioned. So that being said, water changes are a must in a closed system. The frequency, the quantity, that's going to depend and vary a little bit on those parameters I just mentioned. But this is why we do a water change. And a lot of people just think that evaporation is somehow a water change. That when your water goes down weekly, daily, and you're down to here, and then you take that new fresh water and you put it in, that you have somehow done a water change. No, my friends, you have not. You may have added some more trace elements mineral to the game, but all the old bad water is just becoming more concentrated in this area. So over and over as time goes on, this just builds up and builds up. And that is why you see people that are saying, well, I never do a water change. I haven't done a water change in 6 months. And then all of a sudden they walk in the door and they got all kinds of problems. Or their fish are stumpy, or they're disease ridden. There's a lot of variables here. But this at least gives some people an idea of why we want to do partial water changes. More importantly, I got to test out my face tracking app on this gimbal, and I'm quite pleased with what I have to see.